time at that party.
And the excitement almost overwhelming in Obama's home state of Illinois.
That's where Lauren Lemanchik is. She is live at Grant Park in Chicago with, I guess, about close to 1 million of her closest friends. Lauren?
Carol, what a historic night here in Grant Park. I wish you could have heard, as I did, the screams that erupted from this crowd the second the networks called Barack Obama as the winner. This has been a very emotional night here. Now, we are hearing that Barack Obama has left his home on Chicago's South Side and is coming downtown. People here cannot wait to hear him speak. I'm going to step aside and let you just take a look at this crowd. There have been tens of thousands of people here all night long. Many of them started waiting in line last night or early this morning on their feet the whole time to witness this moment. Thousands more are watching outside of the park, and it's such an emotional night for so many people as they reflect on the meaning of this win.
One of the great leaders in civil rights movement 34 years ago, she said that when the Constitution was written, it began with "we the people, but it left her out."
We have talked to so many people tonight. We have talked to so many people who tell us that what this means.
All right, we will get back to you momentarily. We are told now that John McCain has made a phone call to Barack Obama and has conceded.
And we will, of course, go back to Grant Park and Lauren Lemanchik. But in the meantime, let's check out how people are reacting in Milwaukee. Now we're going to go back to Chicago, Grant Park, where more than 70,000 people have gathered.
And Lauren Lemanchik, the party continues down there.
It sure does, Mike. Right now, they are anxiously awaiting Barack Obama to come out here and take the stage and accept his role as the next president of the United States. As I was saying before, this is so emotional for so many people. I talked to one woman who told me for her, this finally erases the sin of slavery in this country. Talked to another person who said he feels like it's a generational shift, like a new generation, his generation, is ready to take over the forefront of American politics. And that is the kind of emotion that's been behind this Barack Obama candidacy all the way from the beginning. And you can see the crowd. This is an incredible experience to be here. The second they announced Barack Obama's win, people started jumping up and down. It was just a sea of people. And you can't, from our position, see how far this stretches back. But this park, Grant Park, a huge park on Chicago's lakefront, is absolutely filled. I don't know how many people have been down here for Taste of Chicago. Imagine that times 10. That's how packed it is down here. And the excitement level is just extraordinary. A lot of people keeping their eyes on the monitors, waiting for John McCain to speak first, and then from Barack Obama. Mike, Carol?
And I would guess when Obama shows up and speaks to his supporters there, you will see another eruption of emotion.
Definitely. I mean, people are talking about this speech. They wanted to be here tonight because they feel like they're witnessing history. They are comparing it to the "I Have a Dream" speech of Martin Luther King. They are comparing it to so many other great moments in our history of America where people remember where they were at that time. And all of these tens of thousands of people want to be able to tell their children that they were here when the first African American was accepted the presidency of the United States of America.
Lauren, a little while ago you said that Barack Obama and his family were making their way to Grant Park, and I know it's hard to estimate time, but any idea at all as to when Barack Obama will address that huge crowd?
You know, we don't know yet. A lot of that's going to depend on when John McCain addresses his crowd. It's always customary in an election for the person who has lost the election to speak first. So everyone here is going to be keeping a very careful eye on that. As I said, Barack Obama's home is not really all that far from Grant Park, but they were going to a hotel first, we were hearing, and then going to make their way over here. So people here would wait 5, 6, 7 hours if they needed to. They've been here long enough already, and they are not moving an inch until they hear Barack Obama speak.
All right, Lauren Lemanchik joining us live at Grant Park in Chicago, where the party continues, and I'm sure the folks at the Obama headquarters.
Courtney Garris joining us live from Waukesha County.
Right now, we want to go back to Chicago. Lauren Lemanchik joining us live, and it sounded like and looked like people were just listening to every word that John McCain was saying, Lauren.
Mike, it was a very quiet crowd, and I'll say it has been throughout the night. They've had their eyes on that monitor, very serious about what's happening with this campaign coverage. Quiet during McCain's speech. Every once in a while, a few cheers when he would say something that they liked. Every once in a while, a few boos, mostly when they heard McCain's fans booing back at his speech, but really a very quiet scene. I can tell you something that we just saw. Actually, our photojournalist, Rebecca Cantrell, saw what looked to be a motorcade driving just behind Grant Park. Not sure if that's Barack Obama, perhaps it's Secret Service or some other type of security that's occurring, but we are expecting him to speak very soon, and this crowd continues to be very quiet, anxiously awaiting that speech tonight, Mike.
While you were speaking, Lauren, we saw pictures of Reverend Jesse Jackson, tears rolling down his face, just the pure excitement of the Barack Obama victory there.
A lot of emotion there.
Yeah, he wouldn't be the only person who's crying. I've talked to people here who are extraordinarily emotional. A lot of people here have volunteered for this campaign, some for the first time in their lives. They've knocked on doors, they've made phone calls, and I think for a lot of them, they've never felt so emotionally invested in a candidate. Whether they supported a candidate for president or not, Barack Obama seemed to touch something in people that went beyond just supporting his policies. They believe in him as a man.
And as soon as we get word that Barack Obama is nearing the stage, we will definitely, of course, come back to you live. Lauren Lemanchik joining us live from Grant Park in Chicago. Thank you.
And I'm told we want to go back to court.
Thank you very much. And we want to remind you that we do expect Barack Obama to take the stage at Grant Park around 11 o'clock tonight, somewhere around that time. And we definitely will take that speech live. Right now, we're going to go to Grant Park, where our Lauren Lemanchik has been since early this morning. And Lauren, I guess it's been an exciting night for all of Obama's supporters.
It has been an exciting night here, and I'll tell you right now, they're starting sort of the program before President-elect Obama comes out. We have had the Pledge of Allegiance, we've had the Star-Spangled Banner sung, and now there is other music occurring all night. There really wasn't any entertainment here. A lot of times candidates will have opening acts, if you will, but tonight it has just been his supporters here watching every return come in and cheering so often when they heard him win state after state after state. It has been a truly incredible night here as we have witnessed people with such emotional reactions to this victory tonight. It became clear fairly early in the evening that Senator Obama was doing quite well in this election. People weren't ready to say they'd won yet, but you could really see the smiles on their faces, the relief in their eyes, because so many of them had poured so much into his candidacy over the last several months, actually over the last couple years, as this has been such a long campaign and primary season. Carol?
Lauren, we are hearing that there are about, 70,000 people who are ticketed. They've got the up front seats. And then there's a much larger crowd that extends around Grant Park, and we're hearing numbers perhaps as high as 1 million. That's got to be huge.
It is huge. You know, from where I'm at, I can really only see the ticketed area. People, if you take a look, they are jam-packed. They have been standing this whole time for several hours. No one's complaining, of course, but anyone who's been to Chicago knows that Grant Park is very, very large. I mean, imagine just people shoulder to shoulder filling the area from the Art Museum all the way up to Bradford Beach. I mean, this is what we're talking about in terms of the size and scope of Grant Park. I'm not sure how many people are filling it. We've heard numbers anywhere from 100,000 to several hundred thousand. I don't know that anyone has a definite count since that so many people weren't ticketed, but no doubt that everyone who is here is enjoying this night immensely.
And Lauren, you know, you said earlier that you and Becky did notice the security was quite tight getting in. Were there any restrictions put on people getting into the park that you noticed, that they weren't allowed to bring certain things? Anything like that that you can share with us? Because that's a huge crowd.
Yeah, security was tight, although it seemed like people came in a very orderly manner. People were told, you know, don't bring bottles, don't bring anything that could be used as a projectile. Obviously, people did come through metal detectors to get into the area. But, you know, people were allowed to bring in blankets. They didn't need them tonight. It's a gorgeous night here in Chicago. However, you know, the security measures have always been tight around Senator Obama. I've covered him through the primary, and it's always a very intense security situation when he's going to appear, but I didn't hear anyone complaining. People knew what they were getting into when they came down here, and they were more than happy to oblige all of the security measures they were asked to keep.
Yes, well, obviously a difficult crowd, easy crowd to control so far tonight, because no reports of any problems. Everybody's happy because their candidate has won. Lauren, we will check back with you in just a few minutes. In the meantime, we're going to go to a map.
He basically said, do you want to do something to lower your property taxes? And of course, a lot of people are going to vote yes or that.
Absolutely, you can understand that. Well, the last polls just closed a few minutes ago.
And right now, we want to go back to Chicago. Lauren Lemanchik is standing by live, where they are eagerly awaiting the arrival of President-elect Barack Obama.
The next First Family of the
Actually, Mike, it looks as though they may be introducing them right now. I just heard over my shoulder as you tossed to me a man say, ladies and gentlemen, the next first family of the United States of America. People here getting extraordinarily excited. And it does look as though Barack Obama and Michelle Obama are taking the stage. I'm going to send it back to you because we are going to want to hear this historic speech. Mike, Carol?
Absolutely. They are arriving on stage. Barack Obama, his wife Michelle, and their two daughters. Pure adulation from the crowd of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands gathered in Grant Park.
And earlier we heard Brian Williams say this will be the first time since the Kennedy administration we have two kids in the White House. To renew its spirit of service, sacrifice, and patriotism, and to make sure that the country moves forward ahead together. And he admits he can't do it alone.
Reaching out to Republicans, even reaching out to people in foreign lands.
Let's go out to our Lauren Lemanchek, who is live at Grant Park. And Lauren, thousands of people just witnessed history reaction.
Carol, they did. Let me tell you, you could hear a pin drop here. There are 100,000 people here at Grant Park, and it was silent as Barack Obama spoke his words, the first words as President-elect of the United States. You can see this crowd now erupting in cheers. They're waving American flags. They're jumping up and down. This is how they have reacted the whole night. About the only time you heard them respond was with some applause, but when he got them to say, yes, we can, because so much of this speech was not about celebrating the victory of the election, but talking about the work ahead and really calling on this massive crowd here at Grant Park to help him achieve the change he has talked about so often during this campaign. The answer from this crowd, a resounding, yes, we can, to President-elect Barack Obama. Truly a historic night here at Grant Park. And you very much get the sense that people see this. Right now, Joe Biden has taken the stage with Barack Obama, Biden, the vice president-elect. You can just get the sense from people. It's still very quiet. People get the sense that they are watching something special happening. So many of them worked on this campaign to see this happen, to see Barack Obama elected the first African-American president of the United States. And tonight they are savoring that victory. Mike, Carol?
And we have caught glimpses of Reverend Jesse Jackson, Oprah Winfrey, and so many other dignitaries watching this historic moment.
And we're also seeing their wives joining the stage of the newest president and vice president-elect. And you see the thousands of people, the cameras clicking, and we know that you do feel that this crowd believes change is in the air. And it was interesting to hear Barack Obama talk about let's go forward with a measure of humility and a determination to heal the divide. He is very encouraged about working together and bringing the people, like he said, who did not support him, and he asks for their help as he tries to move the country forward.
And how unfortunate that his grandmother was not here to witness this.
Yes, and it is very sad, but he said in his speech that he believes she is there looking down from heaven, and he's sad that the rest of his family cannot be here, but he says he knows he has a lot of work to be done for the country, for his children, and he does believe that Americans do have an enduring power of ideals, and he believes that democracy and unity will give way to unyielding hope. Those are his words.
And he also sent a message to foreign countries as well, a message of hope to those who embrace the principles of the United States, and frankly, a message of warning for those who are bent on terrorism. So obviously he has promised during his campaign that he is going to withdraw American troops from Iraq as his daughters join him on stage. But obviously he has not abandoned the fight against terrorism in the world.
Barack Obama joined on stage by his family, his running mate, their families, and he's 47 years old, one of the youngest presidents, not the youngest. That was John F. Kennedy. He is 4 years older than John F. Kennedy when he was inaugurated.
And obviously he realizes that not all Americans supported him in this election. John McCain, while not the winner tonight, got a great number of votes of his supporters from around the country, and I think that Barack Obama recognizes that part of what he needs to do as a leader is to reach out to those who voted for John McCain or the other candidates, those who did not vote for Barack Obama, and bring them into the Obama camp.
And it is interesting to see when we look at the stage and think of the fact that this is a man whose father was a Kenyan politician. He was raised by his mother and grandparents in Hawaii, a single mother. He saw his father only one time when he was 10 years old. And that kind of a story, obviously, now this is a beautiful sight. As we look at Joe Biden bring his mother on stage, you see the generations and actually people coming together. Always wonderful to see the generations come together and unite on stage.
And we can remember vividly when he introduced her and thanked her when he accepted the Democratic vice presidential nomination at the convention a few months ago.
And as we witness the people and the crowd in Grant Park, you can't help but to wonder, you know, as we look at this, where is the country going? I think a lot of people right now have a question. There's a lot of hope. They believe the American dream can be realized. But let's face it, Barack Obama said we have a lot of work to do. We have troops in 2 countries. We have an economic crisis. We have plants closing. We have a lot of problems in this country.
Let's go back to Lauren Lemanchek, who has been observing this spectacle, if you will. And Lauren, anybody leaving, or are they just soaking up the moment?
There are a handful of people leaving. People are starting to make their way out, but if you look, you can see a lot of people staring at the stage where the Obama family, the Biden family are up there, the new president and vice president-elect of the United States of America and their families. People have waited out here all day long, some for 24 hours. They are not going to leave so soon. They want to witness this moment in history, and that's really what they came here for. They all said, we know we're going to be standing outside. We know we won't have a place to sit, but the fact of the matter is, if history is happening, they didn't want to see it from their couch. They wanted to be here and soak up this atmosphere, and let me tell you, the atmosphere really is very intense here. People are emotional. You can hear the music in the background here. It's very triumphant music, and people here really do feel as though they've achieved something. So many people worked so hard on this campaign, and they had this emotional connection with Barack Obama where they truly believe that this isn't another politician, that this is a man who is going to change the country. They are inspired by his story. And tonight, I think that they're just a little bit in awe of what they're witnessing here at Grant Park.
Lauren, I can't help but to wonder what people around the world are thinking as they look at a black man, the first black president of the United States, president-elect, take the stage, because this is something that many people, many foreign countries have really criticized the United States, saying that we were not available to people of all classes and all races. So this sort of sends a message to the world that the American dream truly is possible.
Carol, and the world was watching, that's for sure. A crowd of tens of thousands of people jammed Grant Park in downtown Chicago to watch Barack Obama become the first African-American president of the United States.
Obama's supporters erupted into cheers as TV networks declared him the winner. The sea of people seemed to stretch for a mile. For many, this was an emotional experience.
It says that we fulfill the promise of the Declaration of Independence, that we have finally tried to erase the original sin of slavery.
You could have heard a pin drop during much of Obama's speech. The crowd was listening so intently, but each time he asked, they answered with a resounding, yes, we can, meaning yes, they can change America with the president they elected into office. In Chicago, Lauren Lemanchek, today's TMJ4.